Welcome to the Vault itself. Thank you for your time. I'm going to bring you a few updates pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. The first update is pertaining to his legal counsel. Sean Diddy Combs is appealing a judge's decision to keep him locked up in a Brooklyn jail ahead of his trial on sex trafficking charges. The new lawyer he picked up is also representing his roommate, Sam Bankman-Fried, the notorious fraudster. Court filings show that Combs has hired Alexandra Shapiro, an experienced white-collar appellate lawyer who clerked for former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Shapiro is representing Bankman-Fried on appeal after the FTX and Alameda Research founder was sentenced to 25 years in prison and convicted by a grand jury on fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy charges. She filed a 102-page brief to the Second Court of Appeals last month, arguing the trial judge excluded evidence from the case in a way that stacked the deck against Bankman-Fried. Bankman-Fried has been living in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center as his appeals process plays out and before he's moved to a more permanent facility. Combs is being detained in the same facility after two judges rejected his $50 million bond offer, with one finding it would be too dangerous to allow him to remain free because he may cause violence or tamper with witnesses. The two have been sharing a room in a dorm-style living arrangements. A person familiar with the situation previously told Business Insider. That person's identity is known to BI, but they spoke on the condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to talk publicly about the situation. Now, naturally, why would you tell it? But this is what happens. People go to jail, somebody talks. So somebody in the jail is talking, allegedly. It's not clear what Bankman-Fried and Combs may have talked about or whether the former crypto wunderkind gave Combs the tip to hire Shapiro. A representative for Bankman-Fried declined to comment. Shapiro didn't immediately respond to requests for comment, and neither did an attorney representing Combs in his earlier bond arguments. So, this crypto crook, Mr. Fried, is also locked up at the MDC, and allegedly he's Sean's new bunkmate. Well, Sean, you like men, so you're obviously in the place where you wanted to be. We will see what happens. We'll also wait to see if we'll hear some rumors that you're bumping tail with Mr. Fried. I said that. Did he hire this attorney, Ms. Shapiro? Did he hire this Alexandra Shapiro as his attorney? How many attorneys will he have on deck? See, this is what happens when you get yourself in a pickle. You spend all your resources trying to stay out of prison. Just a waste of money because these people want their money. And naturally, when you're accused of certain crimes and you're already a wealthy person, you want to hire the best. So I'm assuming she's the best. And I'm sure she's probably making a lot of money anyway, representing well-to-do clients. Now here comes Puff Daddy, allegedly hiring her. Probably never have to work another day in her life. So all this money you're just spewing out here, throwing out here for nothing when you could have just been acting half-ass normal. But because you're not, this is the predicament that you have found yourself in. That's my first update. He's hired Alexandra Shapiro, his bunkmate's current attorney, who's representing him in a fraud case. It has come to light that there are now at least 100 accusers. Most of those accusers have not filed a formal civil lawsuit. And they're also alleged to be minors or were minors at the time when they had an interaction with Sean Puffy Combs. And I'm going to bring you that commentary about law and crime. But my main focus for this live stream is the obvious. There is a sex tape that has come to light with a high-profile person in the tape alongside P. Diddy, and they're engaged in sexual activity in a house in Atlanta, Georgia. The woman who has brought this information forward is an attorney representing a client Um, it's crazy to me. Someone saw her out about the tape, and then she's also representing a female out of California who alleges being sexually assaulted and drugged and also got pregnant by Sean Puffy Combs, allegedly. She has seen photo stills and video. Naturally, as I said in my live yesterday, she can't find a person to purchase the tapes. That's against the law. Because one, a person's been filmed without his or her consent, and it's pornography. So I found it weird a person would seek out this lawyer. How did they find this lawyer to seek her out in the first place? This is all bizarre information. And once again, as I said, she can't find a person to shop her. She can't find, a buyer, because that would be blackmail. So whoever owns this tape saw her out to either find the person in the tape to let them know, hey, I got the tape. You can buy the tape before I send it out to the public, or I'm trying to find a person to purchase it. My thing is, you're going to find a person to purchase it. You're still going to keep a copy of it. You're still going to keep a copy of it. Only a fool would not keep a copy of the tape, because you were stupid enough to keep a copy of it in the first place. So why are you just not wanting to release the tape? I find that interesting. How did the person get the tape? Who is this person? Is it a man or a woman? Is it a sex worker? Is it somebody that's had sex with Sean Puffy Combs? Is it a staff member? Who has the tape? Would it really be jacked up if it's law enforcement that's trying to sell it? Hey, nothing surprises me. Because who is this person with this tape? Who is this high-profile person in the tape? Man, woman, politician, sportsman, musician, dancer? Who's in the tape? Allegedly, there are more tapes, and they're being shopped around. This is baffling. Let's get down to business, everybody. We're going to talk about the person in the tape, who they are. Will it be revealed who they are? What will their rebuttal be? Will they also sue Sean Puffy Combs for filming them in a sex act? Who are the other people in the other tapes? Who are the other people who have those tapes? The owners of those tapes? How did they get the tapes? And once again, why did the person seek out this lady, this attorney, to get them to help cipher this tape out here? Because like I said, it's against the law. She couldn't do it. She would have lost her license if caught trying to find a buyer for a sex tape. Come on. This is all strange behavior. Law and crime is my source of the 100 accusers. Thank you for joining me.
Legend Sean Diddy Combs continues to make headlines in the wake of his sex trafficking arrest 2 weeks ago. Since his arrest in New York City, more accusers have come forward alleging the Bad Boy founder sexually assaulted them. But a law firm in Texas says they have more alleged victims, and the triple-digit numbers. Houston-based firm, the Busby Law Firm, claims more than 100 people have come forward with allegations they were sexually assaulted by Diddy and his associates. Attorney Tony Busby of Busby Law Firm made the claim last week on his firm's Instagram page. According to Busby, the acts allegedly took place at hotels, private homes, and at Diddy's freak-off parties. The freak-offs have been at the center of the government's case against the mogul. According to Diddy's federal indictment, the sex acts known as freak-offs went on for hours and even days, and Diddy allegedly produced, directed, and recorded the encounters for his own pleasure. The freak-offs allegedly involved multiple sex workers and often involved drugs, including ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which, according to prosecutors, Diddy distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. According to the indictment, the freak-offs often occurred in hotels, and Diddy and members of his staff facilitated the freak-offs by booking the hotel rooms and stocking them with supplies, including drugs, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. According to the indictment, the Bad Boy founder allegedly threatened victims' careers.
Important message.
All right, brief intermission. So we're hearing about freak-offs in hotels, homes, hotels, using people to stock the rooms. It's all bizarre information. Just bizarre.
Livelihoods if they resisted participating in the freak-offs. After federal agents raided his homes in March, they recovered items including baby oil, lubricant, AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, and drugs. According to court documents, members of Diddy's entourage often carried guns, and the producer allegedly used a firearm to intimidate and threaten others, including victims and witnesses to his abuse. According to attorney Tony Busby, the individuals they are representing, which include men and women, many were minors when the abuse occurred. In his statement, Busby wrote, "Some of these brave individuals reported the incidents to police, others did not. While at this time we don't know the full extent of the claims," Busby went on to write, "each individual story is gut-wrenching and heartbreaking." He wrote, "The violations against this group of individuals are mind-boggling and can only be described as debauchery and depravity exacted by powerful people against minors and the weak." Initially, when Busby first came forward with the sexual assault claims against Diddy and his associates, he said his firm was representing more than 50 people, but that number has since doubled when his law firm encouraged other victims to come forward. At this time, Busby has yet to file a formal lawsuit on behalf of more than 100 alleged victims. The embattled producer, even though locked up, still faces nearly a dozen lawsuits already, most recently from another woman in Harris County who accused Diddy and his bodyguard of drugging, raping her, and recording the assault in 2001 when she was 25 years old. Talia Graves claimed she was dating an employee of Diddy's at the time, and he leveraged that relationship to isolate her. She said she learned Diddy recorded the crime and shared it to others to degrade and humiliate her. That lawsuit came a week after Diddy was indicted on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Since his arrest, the hip-hop producer has denied any and all wrongdoing and has pleaded not guilty to the crimes. But 2 federal judges have since denied his bail, and he'll remain in federal detention until his trial. This is a great time to bring on.
I want to stop right there. Law and crime is the source. Denied bail 2 times in federal holding, MDC in Brooklyn, New York. Allegedly sharing a bunk, sharing a cell rather, sharing a bunk now, Angela. Sharing a cell with a cryptocurrency crook who has an attorney by the name of Alexandra Shapiro, and allegedly Sean has hired this attorney. How many attorneys will he have on staff to fight these charges? When I get that information, I'll bring it back to you. You now hear that there's a Texas law firm that had 50 people on deck that brought forward allegations against Sean. Now it's rose to about 100, but they have not filed a formal civil lawsuit on behalf of these people. So now you hear another lady's come forward, Miss Graves. She was assaulted many years ago at the age of 25. This is ridiculous. Sexually assaulted, drugged, and then taped. Now we have a tape floating around, which I'm assuming this tape is of somebody high profile, allegedly. This attorney has seen it, photo stills, and says the person does not appear to be aware that they're being filmed. So we have all these stories running concurrent. 100 people filing lawsuits or getting in conjunction with a law firm in Texas. Miss Graves coming out a week ago with Miss Allred of being drugged, sexually assaulted, videotaped. Now we got this lawyer who's representing a Jane Doe making the same claims. She's from California, Northern California, the young lady who's bringing forward claims against Sean. This is a whole other person. And then in the same breath, while she's representing this Jane Doe, somebody else has contacted her about a tape, wanted her to find the person in the tape to let them know they got the tape and would they like to buy the tape, which is against the law. A lawyer can't do that because that's bribery and that's blackmail. But then in the same breath says, well, if the person can't be contacted, can you help me find a buyer for the tape? Are you hearing this nonsense? When you think you can't be more baffled. The stories are starting to run together. You can't even keep up now. Number 11, number 12, accuser. Now we're talking about a total of 100 people on the books at an attorney's office in Texas. This Busby attorney had 50 on file. Now it's rose to 100. Who is the person in this mystery tape that everybody's talking about now? That this lawyer is talking about, this female lawyer. Also in her conversation to News Nation, there are more tapes out there that are being ciphered out looking for a buyer. Why did they seek out this lawyer? I'm curious. This is all bizarre behavior to me. Why did you seek out this lawyer? What makes you think she was getting ready to find you a buyer, which is against the law, as I said, because it's blackmail. She would lose her license. This is crazy to me. As you heard in this commentary with Law and Crime, the allegations by Miss Graves of being drugged, sexually assaulted, taped, goes into conjunction with this mystery tape. That obviously Sean likes taping his sexual escapades. He has to have a memento from the moment. Who is the person in this mystery tape? Allegedly, it was filmed in his Atlanta home. Don't know if he still owns the home or not. But somebody knew that to even say that the house is in Atlanta or the actions took place in Atlanta. Who is the person? Is it a man or a woman? Sean is doomed. Because by the time all this is over, he'll be broke just from the lawsuits alone with a receipt. Okay? Because if that person can be identified and they can point themselves out in that tape, his ass is grass, as it should be. And like I said yesterday in my live stream, what's going to be jacked up if this is a man and an alleged high-profile man whose persona is bigger than Sean's, as this woman is relaying this to News Nation. So who is it? Football player, basketball player? What? Politician, musician, dancer, CEO of a corporation? Is it a woman? Is it a man? Who is it? White, black, what? This is bad. Can you imagine somebody taping you having sex and they have shared it to their entourage, their friends, whomever? They're all snickering and grinning about what you're doing in the damn tape. And then it's just going from hand to hand, hand to hand. One person viewing it, this person viewing it. And now somebody's bartering with your sexual activity for the highest pay. I want everybody to sit in here and think about that. Because this is, as I said, a replay of R. Kelly. It's bad enough you're doing all this nasty, filthy stuff with different people and doing all type of crazy nonsense behind closed doors, which is your business. But when it comes to the drugging and the forced sex, forced labor of sex workers, it's a crime. You can't make somebody do something they don't want to do. You don't have the right to drug them. You don't have the right to force yourself on them sexually. You have no right to be taking pictures, filming them. It's against the damn law. Bringing out guns, brandishing guns to make them do something, coerce them to do something, that's against the law. So if they can prove this to courts, you've done any of those things, your ass is gone. Cooked bird, as I said yesterday. And he's a cooked bird just from taping these people. So you see this is a pattern. And that's been alleged by different people. So we now know that's not a lie. Even if a person wanted to piggyback off of what Cassie said or this person said, we now know it's not a lie. That's now been brought to print. There is a tape or tapes floating around. People are trying to get buyers for the tapes, and somebody is recognizable in the damn tape. But they don't appear to have knowledge that they're being filmed. This is fucked up. And I would be pissed off if I found out you've taped me. I'd be pissed off. I think any of us would be pissed off because you don't have the right to be filming people having sex. Now you're talking about manufacturing pornography. Filming without consent and manufacturing pornography. That's a crime. So now we've left the realm of drugging, sexual assault, sex trafficking, forced labor, drugs, guns to face. Now we're talking about manufacturing pornography. So yeah, there'll probably be more charges tacked on along the way. Because imagine how many tapes there are out there that the government seized from his homes. The devices, the security cameras, what's on the cameras, ain't no telling. It's probably really bad. Really, really bad. And it's disrespectful to the people who engaged. Now, you're stupid enough to go jump in a bed with Sean Puffy Combs with a bunch of people, that's your dumb ass. Because you should know somebody was going to tell it whether it was filmed or not. And that's the thing that people don't think about. He said, she said, people will believe it just because a famous person's name is attached to the damn story. But when you have a live tape of you running around, jumping around in a bed, doing all type of crazy shit with a person, ain't no he said, she said at that point. Once somebody can point you out and say, oh yeah, that's Pookie, that's Ray Ray, that's Bubba, that's Susie Mae, it's a wrap. Sean is oblivious to what the hell is going on. But this is the attitude and disposition of a narcissist and a sociopath. They don't have any empathy. So they aren't thinking like a normal person, hey, I'm caught, my foot's in the trap. They've got proof, they've got receipts. They're still running around trying to fight the system, knowing there are receipts. Because in his mind, he's thinking this is all about Cassie, what she had to say to the public. But it's deeper than Cassie. Because now you got videotapes. You have guns and drugs seized from your property. You also had drugs in your hotel room. That has been alleged when you got arrested a week or so ago. So it's deeper than just what Cassie had to say. It's deeper than what this woman and this guy and this guy and this woman had to say. You didn't even have sense enough to go to New York and play like a good little guy. You had to have possession of drugs. Who does that? You have been notified that there's an indictment and that an arrest is coming. So you moved to New York to face the charges, and yet you had possession of narcotics. Why? This shows you Sean has never changed. So that half-baked apology after that Cassie video was released of him beating her up at the hotel months ago, that was all a ruse. That was a rebuttal because he was caught. That's the point of the story. Had nobody released that tape, had she not filed a lawsuit November 23, you wouldn't probably be hearing any of these stories or allegations against him or lawsuits. Because that's the whole point. All these people kept their secrets under the rug for whatever reason, whether they felt coerced, threatened, they didn't bring it forward. Now, there are allegations of police reports. The one female attorney who has the Jane Doe right now, she says that young person filed a police report, but nothing panned out from it, which I don't understand why not. The detectives feel like, well, she went and did something with him behind closed doors. We can't prove that there was sexual assault, blah, 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 drugging. Well, take her blood. That's the purpose. Take a sample of her blood. That's how you find out if a person's been drugged or not. You take a sample of their blood. Samples from their hair, whatever. Get it tested. Do a rape kit. And that's going to be even messed up as well. a person has gone to the police and nothing was done. And I believe that's what's being alleged by this Texas law firm. People have gone to the police to say she was sexually assaulted by Sean and nothing was done. He's cooked. And I told myself before it even goes to trial, there will be God knows how many people claiming to have been assaulted by him and his staff, entourage, friends, whomever. We're talking about gang rape. We're talking about drugs. We're talking about possession of drugs, brandishing weapons, having weapons, staff, friends, associates, threatening people, blowing up cars, violence. Being acquitted of shooting in a nightclub many years ago. Sean took the rap for that, deported back to his homeland. Allegations of him being a homosexual, which, like I said, that's his choice, but it's all filth. All these people jumping in the sack together, switching up bodies in a hotel room, and you know damn well nobody was using anything. No way I believe it. No way. And that's the one thing you didn't hear with the items by the government. You didn't hear, oh yeah, by the way, with these 1,000 bottles of lubricant baby oil, we also found a 10-pound box of condoms. Ding, ding, ding. Why not? Why no condoms? Sean, do you have an answer for that? All this lubricant baby oil, but nowhere did they say, oh yeah, by the way, we seized 10, 12 boxes of condoms from Trojan or some high reputable condom company. Yeah, it's probably no telling what he did. And I won't doubt he's a children. I brought you that information. Please check the YouTube queue for my shorts on my content on Puff Daddy. I've got a lot of shorts I uploaded yesterday for your enjoyment and knowledge of the information. Also follow me on the News Breakout. I've got a little following going on over there. God is good. A few more people have subscribed to the channel the past couple of days. I thank you for patronizing. This is jacked up. As I said, this is just a replay of R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, all wrapped in one. Old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Isn't that what Ray J said to News Nation? Another bobblehead that shouldn't be talking. Talking in circles. Because of what? He's your friend. You don't want to say anything bad about your friend. Sean doesn't have any friends. And if you knew what was good for you, Ray J, you shut the hell up. Because you're the same person that allegedly put out a sex tape of Kim Kardashian many moons ago. So you're the last person News Nation should be talking to. I would have never went to him to ask him shit about Sean Puffy Combs or anybody. Because he is in no position to be giving information about anybody. Because he can't even answer a direct question pertaining to the circumstances. Brian Eaton asked him specifically, do you know who's in the videotape? He's talking all around in circles about the hierarchy of entertainment and blah, 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 and how the house of cards can fall. That's not what he asked you. He said, do you know who's on the tape? All you have to do is say, no, I don't. I have no idea. Once again, I had no idea of these freak-offs. You don't even know how to answer a question. You're still talking about what we can do to make it better. Make what better? I don't have control over somebody's penis. Somebody's vagina. But I have control of you putting a security camera in your bedroom or setting up cameras in a hotel and filming you have sex with other people. How do we have control over that, Ray J? Make it better. Make it better how? You're talking in circles. You sound like a fool. There's no making it better. You're talking around it, you're fluffing. As I said, painting a peacock. dancing around the peacock. This ain't nothing but a $2 broke-ass Indian dance. There ain't no making it better because we don't have control over others' actions. The only thing you can do is talk to people about ramifications of getting entwined with people sexually and you don't know them. That's all you can say. The message is, be careful going into hotel rooms and houses and not knowing where you're going and who you're sleeping with. Going in these rooms having multiple sex partners with no protection, and the fact that your ass could be taped and blackmailed and the information passed along to the dark web, porn sites, so on and so forth. That's the only message you can send to somebody. But these are legal adults, allegedly, so you can't tell a person where to go and where to put their private parts. We also have allegations that some of these people were underage at the time. So how many accusers were underage? We're at 100 allegedly coming out of a Texas law firm, Mr. Busby's law firm. He had 50 on file. Now his total is at 100. That's not including the 12 that were put to print last week. So now you're talking about at least 112, 113. This is ridiculous. But I said this, did I not? I said there will be more. And it won't matter if it's the truth or not. Because you're not going to know unless the person has a receipt to prove something that they met him. There's a taped conversation. There's video chatting. There's text messages. His phone number's in their phone, vice versa. Somebody in his entourage was sending messages about a hookup. We're going to pick you up at the airport. We're going to fly you in or out. That's the only way you can prove, yeah, I had some dealings with Sean Puffy Combs. But either way, if there are tapes floating around and you just so happen to be in those tapes, there's your proof right there that he was taping people without their consent. And the fact that somebody else has access to the tape shows he passed the shit around or they had access to retrieve the tapes. This is bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad in the worst way. Because nobody has the right to film you having sex. He had no fucking right. But what did I just say? There are ramifications for having sex. That's it. You're going and getting paid to have sex. Then he's not wanting to pay you. Then you're sitting here swapping body sweats and juices and all this type of filth with other people in a room you don't know nothing about. So you're not thinking about getting HIV or anything. Syphilis, gonorrhea, you're not thinking about none of that. Okay? You're not thinking about the obvious. Just catching the venereal diseases and fucking AIDS, plus getting this shit put out on the dark web, people finding out you're into sex tapes. You don't care. It's no different than the people who upload their own pornographic material to a porn site. You don't think that people watch the porn? You don't think that somebody's going to look at the porn and look and think, that person looks familiar. Hey, I know her. I know him. And then just go spread it around to people. Hey, she's on this porn site. He's on this porn site. They got a video together. I don't know why people do. I don't even know why you would upload porn of yourself. It's one thing to be an alleged porn actor. You're making money to make porn. That's your thing. But you as a personal person, uploading yourself, touching yourself, and having sex with somebody, it's crazy as hell. You obviously don't have a job. Because you're not thinking that shit can come back. Somebody can go to your boss and say, hey, she's got tape. She's got a whole profile on a porn site where she's got content uploaded. He's got content uploaded. Why people think these things will not find them out and that there won't be ramifications for uploading porn, being in porn videos, whether you're paid or not, there are ramifications. Now, there are people out here who don't care. Those would be the people who are the porn actors. That's their hobby. That's their moneymaker. So they don't care that you know that's them. They're not shy. But you other random motherfuckers that's uploading porn to the porn sites, And either way, even if you're getting paid, you're still somebody's child. You still have brothers and sisters. Why would you want these people knowing, one, you're a porn actor or you're uploading porn? But as they say, to each its own. Who's the person in the video? The high-profile person. They are going to be sick as hell when their name gets put out to print. They're in that damn tape. Because that's exactly where this is going. Somebody is going to look at that tape and they're going to recognize that person. Whoever buys the damn tape. So I don't know if it's going to be the Sun, the Mirror, TMZ, whomever. Are they going to sit on the person's name? Because people are going to say, well, what's the purpose in buying the tape if you're not going to tell us who's in the tape? You're just going to say, oh, I got a copy. I paid 50 G's. I paid 100,000 for the tape. But I can't say who's in the tape. So then people will say, well, then what the hell you buy the tape for? And then you're a part of the problem as well because you're now buying the porn. This is sick. And I feel sorry for whoever's in that tape because you put yourself in a really dire situation by fucking around with Sean Puffy Combs. You and God knows how many other people who have been filmed having sex with him and other partners. So there should be a lot of people worried as fuck right now, especially if you're on the down low. You a black man, white man walking around here, don't want nobody to know you like penis. Well, Sean's got you on tape. So if you think you've got some personal problems going on, you better pray like hell somebody don't look at that picture, put your name out there on blast. Because I'm trying to figure out why would anybody be sitting on these tapes in the first place? Because whoever R. Kelly was messing around with, friends, associates, entourage, they put those tapes out there years ago. And it was horrible. Each screen set different women having sex with R. Kelly. And that's the one tape that had the 14-year-old girl in there. And naturally, she denied it when he first went to court, but then we later found out he paid her and her family off. And if you looked at that tape, you could see that was a child that he was having sex with. That was not a fully developed woman. It's a child. And he doesn't care. And he don't care now, just like this mess with Sean. He's another replica of Bill Cosby, Weinstein, Epstein, R. Kelly. They're all the same. Just some nasty ass beasts who can't be satisfied like a normal man. Can't go out here and put their bid in and just tell a woman or man, hey, I like you, I'm digging you. Would you like to come back to my house, my hotel? We can have some drinks, whatever, and just have sex. And in the night, you go there, you go your way, they go their way. No, we got to bring in extra people. We got to bring in videotapes and cameras. We got to have drugs, put them in the drink so the people can pass out. Like you want to have sex with a limp body because you're sick. As I said, how far you wanting to take it? How much sex is going to be enough? Because obviously for Sean, these other wackos, regular sex ain't enough. It just ain't. Well, I don't want a woman, don't want a man. Ain't nothing left but an animal. Where are we taking this? You got to film it. You got to involve drugs. You got to involve coercion, threats, guns. Ain't nothing left but death. Let's keep it real. And some may say, well, that's kind of extreme, Queen. No, it's not extreme. The fact that they said he was using IVs to sustain the people from being exerted. I don't see how anybody can just go around having sex for hours and hours and hours any damn way. Don't you want to eat something? Get a cup of coffee? How about taking a damn shower? How about that? This is crazy to me. And then we found out he's hired sex workers and didn't want to pay them. So you just want somebody to sit here and slough off dead skins on top of other bodies, swapping sweat and fluids for free. For free. And I won't doubt that some of these people who have allegations against Sean, they were dealing with him on multiple occasions, because the one young lady coming out of Northern California, her attorney spoke to News Nation. She said she was dealing with him in a 4-year period, which makes no sense to anybody. It doesn't make sense to me. But as I said, you can compare it to the Cassie scenario. She was with him on and off for 7, 8 years, 10 years, whatever, and being abused and having sex with all these different people, drug use, so on and so forth. This other chick, she wasn't even his girlfriend. So I don't understand why she felt threatened to engage in sex with him once a month. I'm supposed to believe somebody was following you around every day for 4 years to coerce you and threaten you to have sex with Sean. I don't believe that. When you went with him the first time, had sex, whatever jumped off that you didn't like, you should have never went back. Should have never went back. And we know you can't be no more special than these other women and men out here, because he doesn't even differentiate on the sex. So you couldn't be that special. So I'm trying to figure out why he's got people threatening you that you got to hook up with him. Make me understand why you were so important that he had to have somebody hound you for 4 years to have sex with him once a month. Make me understand. And I get it. He does use threats, use guns, coercion. But what I'm saying is, you all don't live in the same demographic. You all obviously didn't even live in the same damn city. You change your phone number, that means somebody would have to literally come hunt you by foot. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe Sean is sending people out on airplanes to hunt down one woman with a vagina to have sex with him. That's what you're saying. And I'm not here to make this person out to be a liar, but this sounds like bullshit to me. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't drugged people. I'm not saying there wasn't forced labor. I'm not saying he didn't sexually assault women, gang rape. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is, you don't live where he lived. You weren't his girlfriend. You can't make me understand how you would feel threatened to go meet up with him once a month. I refuse to believe somebody is stalking you and watching your every movement for 4 years to make sure you met up with Sean Puffy Combs. That makes no sense to me. That makes no fucking sense to me. These are the allegations at hand. 100 accusers are on file at a Texas law firm, Busby Law Firm. Ms. Grace has come out to speak about her allegations against Sean Puffy Combs last week with Ms. Gloria Allred. We have another female attorney who also has a Jane Doe, who are making similar claims of drugging SA, and that she got impregnated by him, and that he had his entourage threaten her to get rid of a baby, to abort a baby. And she said she lost the child from the stress. So was she pregnant by Sean Puffy Combs, this Jane Doe? Her attorney has spoken to News Nation. And that same attorney also says someone came to them about a sex tape, wanting to find the person in the tape and or find a buyer for the tape, which, as I said, is illegal. There's just too much going on pertaining to Sean. And I got a feeling it's not going to end. And we'll look up, he'll get a verdict, and it'll still be something else by somebody else. There'll be another allegation, there'll be another claim. And like I said, when you have this type of behavior from a person that is overly sexed, cannot get enough sex, can obviously not be content with normal sex or whatever you consider normal, abnormal, kinky sex, he's never going to be complete because there's something wrong with him. So when you start talking about forcible rape, gang rape, filming, taping, coercion, threats, violence, having sex with men, women, multiple partners in the same bed. It's a recipe for disaster. You need to see a therapist because he can't be fulfilled. That's the point I'm trying to make. He can't be fulfilled. That's obvious. So where can you take it? And I'm sure there are many men and women out here who are the same. They cannot be fulfilled sexually. And that's why some people say it wouldn't shock me. A person who's so overly sexed, a man who claims to be straight, would have sex with a man because he can't be fulfilled. He can't be fulfilled having sex through a vagina. So, hey, let's try a man. Let's mess with children. Nothing left after that but an animal. Just keeping it real. And I won't doubt that he's probably sexually assaulted his children. Please check out my content on that. The elephant in the room. Because that is the elephant in the room. What if we find out he has sexually assaulted his own children? Because you cannot have a man who has been messing with children, flying them in from place to place, state to state, and not think he has not molested his own kids. Because he's a sadist. And as I just said, he can't be fulfilled. So when you cannot be fulfilled sexually, all bets are off on who your victim would be. It won't matter. Man, woman, child, both sexes, it doesn't matter. He's a sadist. 9 times out of 10, Sean was groomed as a child, molested as a child, experienced sex early in life, had sex early in life. Allegations his mother was a street woman. Don't know if that's true or not. But whatever he saw as a child, it has affected him now as an adult. He cannot be satisfied sexually. That's obvious. That's why he has all these partners, taping and filming. He's got to have a collection of the tapes. He's got to relive it. That's a sign you have a problem. This is no different than the serial rapist, serial killer who has to have a memento from the crime. I got to have something from that day, from that night. Sean Puffy Combs is no different. He is no different than a serial rapist or a serial killer. He's of the same caliber. Because as I just said, how far are you willing to go to exact your sexual deviances? There's nothing left but death. Death and animals. Take your pick. He's off the rails. And sadly, there are more men and women just like him. They can't get enough. They have to perfect this deviant craft on a child, a woman, a man. They don't care. The victim is nameless, faceless. And there are many men walking around like this. They cannot get enough sexually from another human being. And as I have brought you content before on this network pertaining to somebody I know who likes to have multiple sex partners, he always said, oh, I got to have an extra lady in the bed. I just like it like that. If I meet a woman, I want her to like women so we can invite somebody else. And I was like, why? What's wrong with that one woman? Why do you need to have another partner? For what? Now, that's his preference, but I just couldn't understand why. But the fact that he says she got to like a woman, that told me everything I needed to know. That you got something wrong with your ass. That one woman is not enough, that you got to have two at the same time. So that leads me to believe you never will be faithful either. Hello? Because you can't get enough. You need two at a time. That means you would be screwing different women at different times. What's the difference? There is no difference. And that was one of his problems as well. He couldn't be faithful. Married man who couldn't be faithful, who had to have sexual partners, more than, two women together with him, also out here cheating, messing around with different women. That's a sign you have a real problem. And it's a sex addiction, I'm assuming. So that, like I said, it won't matter if you're sleeping with the women separately or you're sleeping with two women together with you or more. You have a sex problem because you obviously can't get enough. You can't be fulfilled. So you're never going to be monogamous. You're never going to be in a committed relationship. You're never going to be faithful because you have a mental problem that's affecting your penis. And you're just picking up these people saying, what? I don't want to be alone. I said, well, you're not alone. How are you alone and you're married? You're not making any sense. Help the queen understand why you feel you got to be out here sleeping with all these different women, sleeping with two women at the same time. Why? Make me understand. I don't want to be alone. I said, but you're not alone. So give me a better excuse. Because you have a problem. And you don't want to acknowledge you have a mental problem. And until you rectify the mental problem, you're going to always be having menage a trois, picking up strange kitty cat, cheating on your girlfriend, wife. You're going to always have that problem because you have a mental issue that has not been addressed. And I feel sorry for any woman that would get tangled up with a man who can't keep his penis in his pants. Because you're going to always have a problem. There's always going to be another woman. There's always going to be another scenario. You're going to be arguing, fussing, and crying about somebody else's kitty cat because your man has a damn sex problem. And this is the same thing that's going on with Sean Puffy Combs. He's just more deviant with it. With the filming, the coercion, the threats, the multiple partners, the sex workers, so on and so forth. 100 accusers. Sex tape. Out here ciphering for a buyer. Miss Graves has come forward with the suit. Another woman has a lawyer, Jane Doe. This is bad. And Sean has now hired a new attorney, Ms. Shapiro, to represent him to fight these allegations in federal court in New York. Will it work? Will he be exonerated? Will 12 members of a jury find him not guilty? Or will he fold, ask the state, the government, for a plea? His best bet is for a plea. No way I would go in that court and embarrass myself and let somebody testify about being beat up, coerced, human trafficking, taped, gang rape, all of that. No way. And you're going to sit up here and try to defend that and think you're going to walk out and sit back at the defense table unscathed. No. No. I wouldn't even humiliate myself like that. But I'm not Sean. And he's a sociopath, so he's delusional. So he thinks he's going to sit up there on a witness stand and just think all this is going to be about Cassie Ventura. No, honey. No. It's more than just about Cassie Ventura. Because I got a feeling these other allegations, receipts are going to make their way into court. We will see if the judge will allow all these other situations to be admitted into evidence. Naturally, what they found in his house will be entered into evidence, such as the guns, the drugs, the lubricants, so on and so forth, videotapes, whatever they found, pornographic material, that will be entered into evidence because that's a part of the case. That's my commentary, everybody. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. I have content uploaded over there. You can get breaking news alerts in your general area pertaining to crime, breaking news around the world. And also follow me here on YouTube. I also have some shorts uploaded pertaining to this Sean Puffy Combs nonsense. After I end this live stream, I will be putting up another short pertaining to what I've discussed. I always make a short and a video. So for those who don't like to sit through a long-winded live stream, I give you 15 seconds rendition of the latest news. So follow me also in the shorts in the YouTube queue. 3,000 plus videos for your entertainment. Also go to my community board to take the polls and also get updates on breaking news. Prayers to those in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and any other state that was affected by Hurricane Helene. This is a devastating tragedy that has befallen us, our neighbors and friends and family members. Tennessee was hit up the road from the Queen, and it's horrible. Just looking at the pictures, I literally cried this morning because it made me depressed. Just looking at the photographs of all the mud and the murk and the water and how devastating Asheville, North Carolina looks. There are other parts of North Carolina that were hit. This is horrible. And Florida naturally fared worse as well. And also flooding in Atlanta, Georgia. Prayers for all these people who have been displaced. Prayers for those who have lost their lives. The count is up to, I believe, maybe 100 or so. Prayers for those who have not made contact with their loved ones, because we're not going to really know if somebody is missing or deceased because these people don't have power. We're talking about millions of people without power. The total was like 4.5 million that I saw this morning. It's a hot mess. But what can you do about it? It's nature. You live in a flood area. It is what it is. And sadly, people did not get out in time to go to higher ground, or they chose to stay behind. And some of those people are no longer here. So my prayers are with all those affected by the hurricane. My understanding is that another storm is supposed to be brewing, not really sure. But I will bring you an update. Check my community page. I put updates pertaining to the storm and the fallout from Hurricane Helene on my community page. Once again, follow me on a news break. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back with another update. This video was pertaining to 100 accusers. He has 2 other accusers now. And also, he's hired another attorney. He's off suicide watch. He has a cellmate, a cryptocurrency fraudster who's, I think, getting an appeal worked on by Ms. Shapiro. Now, that lawyer has now been hired by Sean Puffy Combs. Just trying to bring you the latest of everything I can remember. And there's a sex tape floating around with a high-profile person in the tape having sex with Sean Puffy Combs. Don't know if there's anybody else in the video. I haven't heard that there are any other people in the video. There's also allegedly other tapes floating around looking for a buyer or buyers. This is horrible because I feel sorry for anybody that's on those tapes, because more than likely your name's going to get out here and people are going to know you had sex with him. And what's going to be even worse, Sean has never proclaimed himself as a homosexual. So if there are men on the tapes, it will be verified. And it's just a matter of who's going to put their names out there or put their face out there, which would be, wrong to take a caption of somebody's face from a porn video and say, hey, is this you? He's doomed. But he put himself here, and I don't feel sorry for him. And as you can see, he has no empathy. And he will be 55 years of age next month on the 4th of November. And Sean could give 2 fucks about anybody. And he doesn't care about his kids because he doesn't care about himself. And that is the very reason why he is sitting where he is right now at the DMC in Brooklyn, New York, because he doesn't care. That's my commentary. Thank you for joining me. You've been listening to The Vault XL.